I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina. My mother's from Pakistan, my dad's from Michigan, which is why I have that weird mix of names, Zubair, Simonson. And I was actually raised Muslim. I guess when you grow up with any religion, you're going to get a lot of different experiences from that. There were certain aspects in Islam that were fascinating. Sufism was very fascinating because there's the idea that you could have a personal relationship with God. I grew up in the Bible Belt, so even if you don't want to, you are kind of force-fed the gospel a bit. And there were always some things that stuck out. I remember one Easter, they were playing on TV, I think it was called The Miracle Maker, and it was a claymation about Jesus. And there's one scene, it was at the Garden of Gethsemane, where he knows what's about to happen, and all of a sudden, he trembles, and he's really scared, and he makes the prayer that if there's any way for this to pass, let it pass, but if it's your will, let it be done. That's the first time I saw the Son of God, is being someone who needed courage. I went to Sunday schools, and the background I got was very legalistic, and just kind of little by little, the more I thought about it, I just kind of decided that it doesn't make sense. And by the time I was pulled out of Sunday school, I was becoming pretty much atheist or agnostic. If you would have told me that I would have found God when I was moving to New York City, I would have looked at you like you were insane. It was just not a priority at all. And in my mind, anyone who's religious, and it's not attacking any particular religion, I discriminated against all religions. I just thought they were kind of dumb. The idea that God would care was just kind of absurd, outlandish, just a way to make yourself feel a little better. The moment I believed that Jesus was the Son of God might be the most important moment of my life, and I really can't pinpoint when that was. I can't give you a date. At some point, maybe March of 2007, I was starting to read the Bible, starting to consider it, but I did not believe. And sometime, I think by June 2007, I did. I was always drawn by the city. Just the idea of living in New York, so one day back in 2005, I just packed my stuff and moved here. The company I was working for, I discovered about a year into working for it that we were actually committing a lot of fraud. I worked there for 2 years, and it was very clear within a year that I need to leave this place. But I never thought that God would ever provide any way out. I wasn't personally lying a whole lot, but I was definitely looking the other way for so much of the fraud that was going on in the company, and I can't count myself as innocent. I kept going for another year. What was really frustrating is that I never had a God to turn to for help. That's what it took for me to finally give Jesus a chance. I first started going to church in late March, early April 2007, around then. And I made it a point to go every Sunday. I'd heard about Redeemer through friends. Some people even told me, just based on how I am, this would be a good fit. It's more the emphasis is on the intellectual side. The head pastor will come up with some pretty strong, compelling arguments about Christ. New York's always seen as the place that's so ungodly. For me, New York's the place where I first really started giving Jesus a chance to show me what he's all about. There's a lot of things about the gospel that are very moving, and one of them is the idea that says that he cares so much that he will pay the price for your own betrayal of God himself. I mean, Christianity is the only religion that I know of where God's not just compassionate, He actually has to summon up quite a bit of courage to be compassionate, where He has to personally pay a price for us. The cross is the action that just really defines God's love and what He's willing to do to set our souls straight. For a very long time, my conversion was more intellectual, and it just wasn't a very emotional experience at all. It was just kind of, I was convinced, and that was that. And in January 2008 at the Haven, there was an open reading of John 15, "I am the vine, you are the branches." And that was the first time where it really hit me, just who God was. And I actually started crying, and it was the first time in probably way more than a decade that I've cried about anything. I did have kind of a concern that the weeks before that this whole thing might just be a phase, that those few months, those few years where I tried the whole Christian thing, and I was wondering like just how sincere the conversion was. And I think that was the moment where I realized that it's far deeper than I really thought.